go.
Good afternoon, it's Trainer Tony here with Ricky Parker, and we're from the Southwest Division, and we're going to tell you a few tips on how to change the edger blade.
The way I change the edger blade, I use the screwdriver that comes with it, the star head screwdriver, put it in the star head screw, and take the other wrench and put on the nut and go up to break it loose. And then it broke loose. And then just take it off.
So clockwise.
Yep.
Can you show us that grease well since you got that off of there?
You always want to look in there and make sure there's plenty of grease. This one here's got plenty of grease. You don't want to put but maybe 2 pumps of grease in there. You don't want to over grease it because that will hurt it too. And when it's down this far, I'll show you where the grease fitting is right there to grease the head on it.
Very good, thank you.
And Tony's going to show y'all how to put the blade on by using with nothing but the old blade and the wrench, stuff that you will have out on the road when you're working.
Go ahead, Tony, take it over there.
You always want to make sure the space is on the correct way. You don't ever want to have the spacer on the incorrect way. That's the wrong way to have room.
See the gap? It needs to seat on there tightly.
So you want to have it on right.
Got that lined up between the 2 screws. Hold it steady.
You don't have to tighten the nuts real tight because they're backwards thread. They'll tighten themselves.
Can you guys explain the mud flap, the wheel, and the steel protector guard?
The mud flap on the back is very important. It keeps the rocks and stuff off of you, but make sure when you're using this you wear safety glasses and you have your gloves on because you will get cut working these blades. This wheel right here is for adjusting for tall and short people. You break the bolt loose on the back side and it adjusts up for short or for tall. And then if you're tall, bring it down and then just tighten the nut up. And it tightens it down. And always check the bearings and the nut in the mornings before you use it, because if you don't, it goes to wobble and then you get crooked cuts. And you don't want no crooked cut. And the guard on the front, it saves the head because the head is on like $300 on these things, and this is like $2.50. These, they will wear out, but they're cheaper to replace than replacing the whole head on it.
And you should always edge with two hands, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I've seen a number of guys out there just one-handed edging, and I think you need to apply pressure down and pressure up at the same time.
Ma'am. And it helps you keep it from going all over the place too.
Correct. Well, this was really informative, guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again in the next video.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and today we're going to show you how to operate the 400 diesel grasshopper mower. As you approach this lawnmower, you always want to make sure the arms are wide open. When the arms are wide open like this, that means the engine is in complete neutral. The brakes is up, throttles down. As you approach the lawnmower, you come over here and you flip the key on. You have your temperature, your oil, your brake, and your battery. PTO clutch.
That engages the blades, correct?
Pull it out, engages it. Push it in, disengages. This is your throttle. All the way up is a rabbit. All the way back is a turtle. This is your temperature gauge. This is your battery voltage gauge. This is your gas meter. This is your hour meter. Cut height. You want it to go down?
Not all mowers have the electric cutting height on them.
Correct. Take it up. Once all of that's done,
it's going to get too loud now, so we're just going to watch this video. He's going to go nice and slow so you can see how he operates it. Brake off. Throttle up slightly. He's getting his cutting height. Close the arm. Forward. He engaged the PTO. We have mulching blades on here right now because of the time of the year. In the summer, we run high lift blades. That's how you operate a grasshopper. Thank you, Tony the trainer.
You're more than welcome.
good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tony the trainer here, and today we're going to show you how to properly start the 400 diesel grasshopper. That's our standardized mower, and this is what we really recommend running. As you approach this lawnmower, you always want to make sure the arms are open. That puts the whole engine into neutral. Once the arms are open, the brake is up. Here's the brake on the left hand side, and here's the throttle on the right hand side. You want the throttle to be back, you want the brake to be up. As you get to the left side of the mower, here's the ignition switch. On the ignition switch, you want to turn it to preheat. The reason why we preheat it is because this is a 400 diesel, and it's also it also has glow plugs on it. We also preheat them whenever the weather is cold, but the main purpose is to warm up those glow plugs. You want to probably preheat it for maybe 10 to 12 seconds. After that, switch it over. That's how you start a 400 diesel grasshopper mower, baby. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Tony the trainer here, along with Urgent Parker. We're from the Southwood Division, and we're going to give you a few tips on how to restring a bump head weed eater. First thing first is, whenever you're coming up to a weed eater that's a bump head and it doesn't have any string on it, you want to get up to it and you want to press that button and that button. As you can see, there's a push-in button right there, and then here's a push-in button right there. All you do is simply pressing those two buttons at the same time. Pull it off. 1, 2.
Okay, let me take a look at this, Tony the trainer.
Yes, ma'am.
You can see right here where it says wind cord. It has a little notch for you to notch the weed eater string on. Wrap it around, and then there is a little divot here and a divot here. That's where you hook the string. Tony, take it from here.
Yes, ma'am. And once you get the weed eater head like that, you want to get the weed eater string. And how much weed eater string they want to put on there? I said about 1 wingspan of weed eater string would be plenty enough, because you're crossing over with the weed eater string anyway. So about 1 wingspan of the weed eater string is all you need. And me being me, I always get the weed eater string and I just run it. So I'll put it here. Put it here. Where it says 1 core. I just run it. I just run it. I just simply twist it like that. want to run it all the way until the ends are kind of getting short. Just like that. And then once you get it here, you stick it in that groove, catch that one. Then I come back and stick it in that groove, and I catch that one.
Okay, very good, Tony the Trainer.
Yes, ma'am.
Drop it back in there and let's see how it works.
And then once you have that piece connected, you also want to go back to the main part of the head, drop it in there. I always drop it in there, pop that, put it in. Pop that, put it in.
Sometimes you'll see the guys will lose this part right here.
The eye of the head.
The eye, and your string will not stay in if you lose that. So bring it back to the shop and have it fixed.
You want the equipment to run properly and professionally. Without those eyes, it won't run properly and you won't be doing no professional job. So you always want to make sure everything's intact on the head of the weed eater, including the cutter.
The cutter?
Yes, ma'am.
And isn't it an OSHA requirement to have this head on there as well?
Yes, ma'am. It's an OSHA requirement to have the guard also with the cutter.
You could get fined for that, couldn't we, Tony?
You can also get fined for it, and the reason why we have the guard on is to prevent missiles from being thrown at any pedestrian or any cars. It prevents missiles from being thrown. The purpose of the cutter is whenever you release the string, it automatically cuts off in a certain amount of string.
To the right length.
To the right length. You don't want the string to be too long because it'll just run into the guard and it won't spin correctly.
It'll break the guard too.
So those are a few tips on that. And we're going to simply just put it back on. To put it back on, press in on both sides of the head like we showed you earlier how to remove it. Press in on both heads, that head and that side. And that's how you simply restring a bump head weed eater.
Thank you, Tony the Trainer. And Ricky Parker the Mechanic.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tony the Trainer here, and I'm going to show you how to restring a manual weed eater. Yesterday I showed you how to restring the bump head. Today I'm going to show you how to restring the manual one. Same result, but different ways to restring. So you walk up to a weed eater, and boom, you see it has no weed eater string. So what you want to do is simply go up to the weed eater, remove that piece. You always want to take the spring out and put it in a place so you can keep your eyes on it, because you can lose this piece. This piece is a really important piece to it.
Keeps the tension.
Yes, ma'am. And then boom, you release that piece, take off the head, and then while you have that off, you notice that there's some debris wrapped around it. You simply pull it off. There's the debris. Don't need that. Put this piece back on. Take this here, like that. That piece goes in there. And then you're going to take a weed eater string, even it up. But before you restring it, look on the back of the head, and it's going to show you which ways you want to twine the string. You twine one set to the right, and you twine the other set to the left. So let's get that down. You simply find this piece, that piece, and pull.
Little notch there that catches it.
Yeah, there's a little notch that catches it. And then you simply twine one to the right. You twine the other one to the left. And then simply look for the weed eater head, and you notice that there's weed eater eyes on there. You want to make sure the string goes through the eye. Pull down, and boom. Have that. once you have it there, you notice that there's a cutter on here. This is the OSHA requirement piece. It's designed to cut extra string. There's a guard. It's designed to prevent missiles being thrown. And then just tighten the head down. And that's your complete piece. But if you want to release string or put out more string,
Just a couple little twists, right? You're not taking the whole nut
you're
off.
not taking the whole nut off. See? Nut still on. I'm just pulling. You want to have it loose, just enough to where you can pull. Bringing it in. Just bringing it in. This is taking it out.
Well, thank you very much, Tony the trainer.
Coming out.
Very good.